Day 24 now of cab isolation, lockdown learning. It says, if you can read this, go home, protect the NHS and save lives. Today's letter of the day is P for potatoes. So I'm going to put some footage on of planting potatoes and preparing the ground ready for them. So I'm just about to put some potash on now, which helps them grow. And these are what we would call potato ridges, drills or beds, depending on which county you're in. So this now has been loosened to quite a depth of about 18 inches and then ridged up into these ridges. So what will happen now is the destoning machine will come through, sieve all the soil, leave the fluffy stuff on the top and put the clods in the bottom where the tractor wheel marks go. That helps keep the tractor up if it gets wet in November when they're digging them. And then the planter will go through and put the potatoes in, because a potato plant grows from another potato. So every about sort of 30 centimetres it'll place a potato in the ground, and then in sort of 12 to 16 weeks there should be a crop of potatoes underneath it on the roots of the potato, which we'll call the tubers. So I'll put some more videos on in a sec. There's two hares there running around. I'm in the same field I was in yesterday. There was 3 in. Oh no, there is 3 now. Spreading a bit of potash now after putting the nitrogen on yesterday. Lovely to see. It's just a bit of a problem sometimes we get though when we get people coming at night with dogs trying to hunt them, which is just terrible. Try and film them for us, see how close I can get to them with the tractor without them running off. There you go. Yeah, two that way. One shot through the hedge. The hares are nice to see, but the crows aren't, because they're eating everything. There's a hare in the middle of them crows if you look. I've finished up at this farm now and I'm on to another one. The destoner, you can't really see it, but it's over there. He's having his dinner, otherwise I was going to film that working. Not that you've ever seen tractors going down the road and they like weave around a little bit. It's generally because we have to avoid potholes, because there's not really any suspension much on tractors, and with the big tyres, if they hit a bump or a grid or a pothole, it starts them bouncing all over the road. So we have the choice of going around the potholes or going even slower than we actually do go. So that's often why you'll see a tractor not quite fully on its side of the road, because it's avoiding all the potholes or it's avoiding the grids. And he's not really drunk, or at least I hope he's not. So the tyre might look quite flat, but it's actually designed to run really soft, so it puts a really wide footprint onto the floor, so it spreads the weight as far as it possibly can. Because on the back we've got 4 tons of potash, or just over, and then the tractor can act like a seesaw. So because we've got 4 ton on the back, with a leverage effect, we only need to put 1.5 tons on the front plus the engine to balance the tractor. It's a little bit tipping backwards at the moment, but that's just because the spreader's really full. We don't normally have it that full, but I was moving from one farm to another and I wanted to bring as much with me as I could. This is what we're spreading. This is the potash. So hopefully you can see it. So they mine that out the floor, grind it up into little tiny stones, and they get the stones as even as possible. So that means when we spread it with the discs, show you them better. When they spread it with the disc that spin round, we can spread it as far as possible evenly. If there's small pieces in it, they'll just drop sooner. The big pieces will get more momentum and carry on further. So they try and keep it all the same so that it spreads more even. And then this clever little thing here is like a chute, and that controls where the product falls out onto the disc. So depending on where it drops it on the disc, depends on how far it throws it. So this one will throw it wider than that one because that's a different length. But this can move around and change the trajectory of where it throws it. So when we come into like a corner, it'll change it so it doesn't throw it as far out, and it pulls the spread pattern in a bit. So just to go through some numbers for today, we've got 1,500 kilograms on the front. We've got over 4,000 on the back. we've got a field that's just over 20 hectares, and a hectare is 10,000 square metres. This is the field we're in now, this one like a horseshoe shape. And it's 21.01 hectares, so we're going to need 3,151.5 kilograms on this field. It's a bit bare in patches where the wet weather's not been kind to overwinter, but we're basically spreading only a few grams per hectare. So if anyone wants to work that out, you can put it in the comments box, and if anyone's got any further questions, ask them. I've worked it out, but I won't spoil it by telling you now. I wasn't sure whether to tell you the results, the answer today or tomorrow on the next video, but basically we're putting 15 grams of this product in the back per square metre on this field. That's about 3 teaspoons full. So when you put a bit on your chips or whatever, that's normally half a teaspoon, say, on a little plate about that big. Well, a square metre is probably the size of your sort of small kitchen table. So we're going to put 3 teaspoons on that on this field, and that's why we're trying to spread it right the way evenly across it. And this field is 20 hectares, which is 10,000 square metres times 20. So you can work that out on your calculator. So bye for now.